We're back and it's time to paint. Today we'll be using colour number 14, which represents more of a salmon orange. Apologies to anyone who notices that I spilled some on my hands. I did it when opening the pot, but I've only just realised, and clearly I need to be more careful in future with that. As you can see, the first few sections are looking good. However, as I've progressed, I've noticed the numbering starting to show through. It's less obvious when using the smaller brush, which is depositing more paint. However, when I decided to give the wider brush a bit of a chance at redemption, I've noticed that the numbering is a lot more visible. I'm a bit disappointed the pigment isn't quite covering what it needs to, but I'm also wondering if it's something I'm doing, either in terms of my technique, which still needs a lot of work, or whether I should just be using more paint generally for each section. Being so new to this type of activity, I don't have a gut feeling around how much I should be using, and as I need these pots to last another 5 paintings, it makes sense to hold off on adjusting the pieces until I'm sure I've got enough paint. So later in the year, you may see me return with a touch-up video. Just in case you were wondering why I picked colour 14, it's giving me a bit more practice around the lettering, which is a tricky area, whilst also being a predominant colour that is fairly light. I was tempted by some of the darker areas, but having a feeling that they'll be a bit too intense for me for now, because I can't quite tell where a colour begins and where a colour ends, which is going to be a bit problematic for those areas. Maybe it will become a bit more obvious with practice. Overall, this piece took me about half hour to colour, which to be honest is enough for this evening. I hope you enjoyed watching and maybe I'll see you next time.